Beginning. The storms came often to the frontier world of Kessenfor. Dust swept across its cracked plains, hammering the lonely ranches and outposts that clung to survival. Most settlers had left years ago, fleeing to the inner colonies where life was easier. Only the stubborn or the broken remained. Jared Halloway was both. A veteran of the Dominion Wars, he had traded his uniform for silence. His homestead sat miles from the nearest settlement, a cluster of rusting buildings surrounded by grazing fields where half-wild beasts roamed. He lived simply, repairing machines, tending animals, and trying not to think about the battles that still haunted his dreams. But on the night of the Crimson Storm, everything changed. Jared had gone out to secure his stock when he spotted movement along the ridgeline. At first, he thought it was another settler caught in the gale. Then lightning split the sky, and he saw her. A figure staggered down the slope, tall, lithe, cloaked in torn armor that shimmered with alien runes. Her skin glowed faintly under the stormlight, pale silver streaked with deep crimson wounds. In one hand, she clutched a jagged spear. In the other, she dragged herself forward, leaving streaks of blood on the rocks. A warrior, not human. She collapsed at the edge of his property. Instinct warred within Jared. Every training manual screamed danger. The wars had left him with enough scars to know how alien mercenaries fought. Merciless, efficient, bred for killing. Yet when he looked at her, at the way her breath rasped, at the desperate clutch of her hand around her wound, he didn't see a monster. He saw a soldier. And soldiers, even enemy ones, didn't deserve to die alone in the dust. Against every better judgment, Jared lifted her onto his shoulders and carried her inside. Middle. The storm raged through the night. Jared worked by lantern light, patching wounds with whatever supplies he had. Her physiology was strange, blood that shimmered, bones denser than steel, but enough was familiar for him to keep her alive. When dawn came, he found her awake. Her eyes snapped open, gold as molten metal. Instantly, the spear was at his throat. Jared froze, hands raised. "You should have left me," she hissed. Her voice was low, sharp, like a blade against stone. "Maybe," Jared said evenly. "But I didn't." For a long moment, her gaze searched his. Then, with visible effort, she lowered the weapon. Her body trembled with weakness. "Why?" she demanded. Jared shrugged. "Because you'd have done the same for me." Her expression was unreadable. Slowly, she lay back, though the spear never left her grip. "You art strange for a human." Over the next days, she healed. Jared learned her name, Kira. A huntress, she called herself, from a clan whose traditions went back millennia. Her people lived by the hunt, tracking prey across stars, testing themselves against the fiercest beasts in existence. But she had not been hunting animals. Her prey had been other hunters. "They are fallen," she explained one night, her voice a whisper in the firelit gloom of Jared's cabin. "Outcasts. They forsake the code of the hunt, taking slaves instead of trophies, preying on the weak instead of the strong. I tracked them to this world. But they were waiting." Her wounds told the rest of the story. Jared listened, uneasy. He knew warbands like that, marauders who answered to no law. If Kira's quarry had laid ambushes for her, what chance did settlers like him have if they roamed the plains? He considered sending her away. He considered turning her in. But each time, he found himself unable. Something about her presence, her discipline, her fierce pride even in weakness, echoed the comrades he'd lost long ago. So he kept her secret. It was a mistake. The night it happened, Jared had dozed off by the hearth. A sound woke him, soft footsteps, careful, measured. He opened his eyes and saw Kira standing above him. Her wounds were mostly healed now, her form once more that of a predator coiled to strike. But it wasn't her weapon that chilled him. It was her words. "Wake, human," she whispered. "You need to hear this. My scent is on you. Now they will hunt you too." Jared sat up, heart pounding. "What the hell are you talking about?" Kira's golden eyes glimmered. "The outcasts marked me. Their beasts track by blood, by scent. When you carried me, when you tended me, you took it onto yourself. They will smell you as they smell me, and they will not stop." Jared's blood ran cold. "So, what? You're saying I'm a target now? Because I helped you?" "Yes." No hesitation. "They will come. Perhaps tonight. Perhaps tomorrow. But they will come." The hunt. The first attack came 3 nights later. Jared woke to the shrieks of his livestock being torn apart. He burst from the cabin, rifle in hand, and froze. Silhouettes moved among the corrals, hulking shapes, half beast, half machine, their eyes glowing red. Warhounds. Dominion models, repurposed for feral hunts. Creatures bred to tear through steel and flesh alike. And behind them, dark figures stalked, armored and tall as Kira, their movements silent as shadows. The outcast hunters. Jared raised his rifle. One of the beasts lunged, then a spear of blue fire streaked past him, impaling the hound through the skull. It dropped instantly, twitching. Kira stood beside him, armor reforged, wounds forgotten. "Stay behind me." Together they fought. Jared's rifle barked, dropping hounds one by one. Kira moved like a storm, her spear whirling arcs of light, her roars shaking the night. The hunters tried to surround them, but the cabin's narrow ground gave Jared and Kira the advantage. When the dust cleared, bodies lay strewn across the field. The survivors fled into the wastes. Jared leaned against the wall, chest heaving. "So this is my life now," he gasped. Kira's gaze was grim. "Until they are dead. Or you are." The pact. After that night, there was no going back. Jared knew his quiet rancher's life was gone. The outcasts would never stop. So he trained. Under Kira's brutal regimen, he learned alien weapons, close combat, survival tactics beyond any frontier settler. She drove him harder each day, her voice like iron. Again. Faster. Strike to kill. And Jared, to his own surprise, adapted. Some part of the soldier in him, buried for years, resurfaced. Not the haunted veteran who had run from the war, but something sharper. He and Kira became partners. Hunters themselves. They tracked the warband across deserts and canyons, ambushing their camps, destroying their supply caches, freeing the captives they'd taken. Word spread among the frontier settlers. 2 figures, human and alien, waging war against the marauders. Some called them mad. Others called them saviors. Through it all, the bond between Jared and Kira deepened. They spoke little, but they didn't need to. A glance, a nod, a shared silence by the fire was enough. They were warriors bound not by blood, but by necessity and something growing beyond it. Yet always, Jared remembered her first warning. My scent is on you. Now they hunt you too. Ending. The final confrontation came in the ruins of an old Dominion fortress, half buried in sand. The warband had holed up there, their leader waiting, a towering alien clad in blackened armor, scarred by countless battles. He sneered when Kira approached. You should have died with honor, Huntress. Instead, you cling to a human pet. Kira's spear leveled. Better a human with honor than an outcast with none.